They say having a succession plan is easy. Building a legacy, now that's the real challenge. Property magnate Tan Liew Tian Xiong is obviously not a new name or face in the property sector, both in Malaysia and abroad. From his time in building SP Setia to now EcoWorld, Liew has left a distinct mark on the scene. But now, he's also spending time to groom his eldest son, 24-year-old Liew Tian Xiong, who is playing an increasingly bigger role in EcoWorld. Tian Xiong began his journey with the property group at the tender age of 22, fresh from graduating from university. Since then, he has spent almost 2 years in corporate finance in EcoWorld and is now attached to group branding.
The idea for me is, of course, to learn as much as I can, right? Why I joined corporate finance at the first is because of the uniqueness of EcoWorld, right? When we first joined, we did an RTO on Focal Ames, now EcoWorld, and from that also we did the merger between the private as well as the public. So I mean, as someone who's just freshly graduated from university, where did you get that kind of exposure, you know? And also to be both at the working level as well as the senior management board and directors level. From there, I moved on to group branding. So why group branding? Because I think it's really important to learn how to sell yourself, right? That's why group branding. You need to know how to represent your company. I will be moving on. I'm not sure when yet, but you know, we look probably to go into projects.
Do you mean that seeing something being constructed from
yes,
the...
exactly
right,
that,
I
because
see. All the way till it's the end product itself.
Yeah, till handover. Yeah. Because we are a property development company, right? And if you have aspirations to run a property development company, you need to know the product.
On group branding itself, because you're currently overseeing it, so what kind of budget is actually set aside for branding and marketing, say for example per year or per project, in terms of a percentage of your sales?
I think we're very careful with what we spend. This year, even though I think this year we were quite aggressive with our sales and marketing, but I must say that we are actually very careful. We don't like to overspend, right? But we definitely want the coverage. We want as much coverage as we can.
But based on your latest quarterly results, I mean your pre-tax margins is actually at the lowest since EcoWorld sort of like took over in November 2013 because of actually huge marketing expenses. Yeah. So when you mention aggressiveness, would it only be, say, for your initial stage?
Yes, of course. Because I mean you have to understand that we're a new company, right? So, and when we're in property. Right, so part and parcel of the marketing expenses and all this kind of initial costs is, of course, building up the show villages, the sales galleries, and all that. So, of course, the marketing costs will be heavy upfront, but we don't have to replace these, right? If we do, it's just minor touch-ups here and there. So, actually, we know that we foresee that the marketing expenses costs will actually stabilize throughout the next few years because we already have 7 projects running. Yeah. We're looking to have a few more in the near future.
Now, Xiong, winding back a bit, 2 years ago, this is regarding the reverse takeover of Focal Ames, right, by EcoWorld, and you were actually in the thick of it all. Yeah. Was it a lot of pressure? Like, what kind of pressure did you face then? I mean, just fresh off uni.
I must say, I didn't really have much pressure.
No?
Yeah, and that's, I suppose, because I'm blessed, or the company is blessed with a really, really strong team. Right, and of course we've got fresh graduates like myself then, as well as seniors who's been working in both the property industry as well as banking industry for more than 20 years now. So because of that, there was no pressure because you got someone to lean back onto, right?
Right.
So,
even if you were the single largest shareholder.
Yeah, but still, if you're properly advised.
Right. Okay.
Not much to worry about, is there?
So now, as an executive director of EcoWorld, how do you add value in your board meetings?
The reason why, I mean, of course, I'm the single largest shareholder in EcoWorld, and hence why I'm on the board of directors, right? But what's actually very beneficial for me to be there? Why it is really beneficial for me to be there? It's because it's really good exposure. Because I think for most people, when you do start out working in a company, you're only at the working level, but you don't understand why certain decisions are being made because you're not on the board directors level. But because I'm at that level, I understand why things are done in a certain way, why board decisions are made as such. So actually, for me, it's more so the learning experience. It's more so the learning experience. But how I do add value to the board of directors is, of course, traditionally, board of directors is always you're really, really senior, really, really experienced.
With past experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with past experience and all that. But who are you selling to? The proportion of people in Malaysia who has houses, like who owns houses under the name at the moment, they are my father, your father, people, parents, generally, right? But who are you selling your properties to? Who are the people who do not have houses? Your average age in Malaysia at 29 is 29 years old. The people who, these are the people who need houses, and these people are young. In that sense, I do add the value because it's from the perspective of a young or aspiring home buyer.
So, what is that you're actually a very humble person?
Sorry?
You're very humble.
Oh, right. Okay.
So even back in uni, not many knew that actually you're your father's son, right? So actually, were you made or thought to be this way,
Maybe
or you're generally like that?
Always thought. I mean, my grandfather was a lorry driver, right? Since I was young, I would always go back to our Kampung Baru in Johor, and we grew up around that community. I mean, we went back like a few times a year, but generally you were exposed to everyone there, so you know how they're like. Even now, during any major events, any weddings and everything that has to do with my family, we actually do invite our friends from the village to wherever it is, whether it's in Johor or whether it's in KL. So we were definitely reminded of it, but maybe I suppose I grew up with, you grow up knowing people of from various backgrounds.
Your father, he's very well known, very prominent, right? I mean, do you feel like you're working under his shadow?
Well, I think that's always the case, right? I think that's what people expect. People would always, as much as we say don't compare, people always compare. People always benchmark, whether it's their kids or themselves to whatever it is. So I think in my case, there is that benchmark. My dad is the benchmark, and it's whether or not I'm just the kid who adopted stuff, or or am I at his level, or can I surpass it? I really hope I do.